From Nadia Comaneci getting the first perfect 10 score, to Olga Korbut performing her famous flip, here are the gymnasts that made history. Like Nadia Comaneci can boast of making history. Born on November 12, 1961, Nadia is considered one of the absolute best athletes of the last century and is hailed as one of the greatest gymnasts the world has ever seen. Comaneci snagged 3 gold medals and 1 silver medal. Can you believe it? Everyone was so impressed that they even named her Athlete of the Year. Talk about a star in the making. But here's where things get really mind-blowing. In 1976, Nadia was just 14 years old and competing at the Olympics for the first time. And boy, did she shock the entire world. Throughout her Olympic career, she went on to earn 6 more perfect 10s. Just like Comaneci needed that one golden moment to shine, so did the brave Kerri Strug. You know what they say. No pain, no gain. And this couldn't be more true for the American gymnast who made history in the '96 Olympics. Strug was part of the Magnificent Seven representing the USA. The Americans were doing well, but they had never won a team competition before. Team USA found themselves leading by 0.897 points, with only one event remaining, the vault. But the American gymnasts were struggling to stick their landings. 4 of them had already tried and failed. And to make matters worse, a 14-year-old gymnast named Dominique Moceanu had not won, but 2 falls on her vault attempts. So everything now rested on Strug. The fate of the entire team's gold medal hopes was on her shoulders. No pressure, right? But disaster struck on her first vault. She landed awkwardly and her ankle gave out. The poor girl was in pain, and it seemed like her competition was over. Everyone in the crowd was stunned. Despite the pain, Strug summoned up her courage and hobbled her way up for her final vault, the one that would determine the gold and silver medal outcome for Team USA. She catapulted herself through the air, and everyone held their breath as they watched her landing. Yup, you guessed it. She did it! She stuck the landing, even though her ankle was wobbling like crazy. Both happy and in pain, Strug raised her arms, knowing that she had just secured the team gold medal for the USA. For the very first time in history, Strug had been successful, but she was also unable to compete after that, which meant Dominique Dawes had to take her place. And boy, these ladies were called the Magnificent Seven for a reason. If you thought Strug made history, Dawes wasn't far behind. Known as Awesome Dawsome, Dawes was an absolute legend in the world of gymnastics. She didn't fully realize the impact of her incredible achievements until long after she retired. Can you believe it? This amazing woman made history as the first African-American gymnast to win an Olympic gold medal. Talk about breaking barriers. But get this, she didn't even know she was inspiring young African-American girls until they approached her years later, in the 1996 Atlanta Olympics, after her teammate Strug hurt her ankle. 19-year-old Dawes stepped up and took Strug's place in the individual floor exercise. And guess what? She snagged the bronze and made history in the process. Talk about seizing the moment. Not only did she achieve incredible individual success, Dawes also paved the way for other young African-American gymnasts to dream big and reach for Olympic glory. She left an everlasting mark in the 1996 Atlanta Games and solidified her place in the USOC Hall of Fame. And these gymnasts don't stop at just one Olympic medal. They go back for their second one. Gabby Douglas totally rocked the London Summer Games in 2012 and snagged her second Olympic gold medal. She dominated the individual all-around event, just like she did when leading the US team to victory. Gabby was on fire from the get-go, scoring a killer 15.500 in her first 3 rotations. And let's talk about her vault, where she totally nailed it with an impressive 15.966. Her final score ended up being a fantastic 62.232. As the top-ranked gymnast headed into the last rotation on the floor exercise, Gabby was leading the pack with 47.199 points. There was some tough competition from gymnasts Mustafina and Kuzmova. Here's where it gets exciting. Gabby had to bring her A-game on the floor exercise to secure her victory, and boy, did she deliver! She had so much energy that she was practically bouncing all over the place, and the crowd couldn't help but clap along to her music. She twirled, spun, and leaped into the air with incredible skill. Almost all of her landings were flawless, except for a close call when she hopped dangerously close to going out of bounds. But you know what? The crowd and the judges were totally won over by Gabby's final performance. They awarded her an awesome score of 15.033, with her teammates Kyla Ross, Jordan Weber, and Michaela Maroney cheering her on. Gabby snatched the gold and cemented her status as America's superstar gymnast of the Olympics. She absolutely crushed it. I have to say, the most decorated gymnast of all time is none other than Simone Biles. She hasn't just made history, but is still making it till today. But I think her iconic debut in the 2016 Olympics at Rio deserves to be heard. Biles, also known as the Queen of Gymnastics, finally made her grand entrance onto the Olympic stage. Everyone knew she was going to crush it, no doubt about it. The crowd was buzzing with excitement, eagerly waiting to witness the mind-blowing brilliance that Biles was about to unleash. Right off the bat, she soared to the top of the leaderboard with a flawless vault. From that moment on, the American team held their ground like true champions. It was almost as if they had already engraved their names on the gold medal. But Biles, being the superstar she is, decided to go all out during her floor routine, sealing the deal with an absolutely mind-boggling score of 15.800. The crowd was left speechless as she dazzled them with a breathtaking performance set to some catchy Brazilian tunes. Now, this 19-year-old dynamo not only secured her team's victory, but she also cemented her own legendary status. She dominated the competition with top scores in the vault, beam, and floor. While she had to stand on her tippy toes on the podium due to her 4 feet 9 inches height, she was above them in all other ways. Biles towered above every single one of her competitors. She was a force to be reckoned with, a true champion among champions. And if I'm talking about legends, there was someone who came even before Biles and changed gymnastics with her famous move. Olga Korbut was an awesome Soviet gymnast back in the day, who completely changed the game at the 1972 and 1976 Olympics. She snagged gold medals on the balance beam, floor exercises, and team competition in Munich, along with silver in the uneven bars. Then, 4 years later in Montreal, she grabbed team competition gold and balance beam silver. But her Korbut flip was the real game changer. It was a move that she came up with, and it was so mind-blowing. It completely revolutionized gymnastics. She started by standing upright on the upper uneven bar during her routine, and then flipped backwards, catching the upper bar from underneath. It was insane. Now, you would think the judges would have been shocked and amazed, but nope. When she first did the flip at 17 years old in Munich, they only gave her a score of 9.8. Can you believe it? The crowd went nuts, angry at the judges for not giving her more. They knew something amazing had just happened, and they weren't about to let the judges off the hook that easily. It's such a shame that the move is now illegal according to the Gymnastics Code of Points. But hey, Korbut will always be remembered as the daring gymnast who flipped the sport upside down. Talk about leaving a lasting impact. So there you have it, guys. From Olga Korbut performing her famous flip to Nadia Comaneci getting the first perfect 10 score. Those were the gymnasts that made history.